Dear colleagues, welcome to my hospital at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. This is emulsification of a non-intumescent white cataract. This is a totally unedited recording and you are going to watch each and every step of this surgery. After thorough irrigation of the ocular surface with BSS and 5% povidone iodine, the main incision is placed at the selected site. Here it is. This is a posterior limbal incision with a 2.8 mm keratom. And now, this is a paracentesis, about 2.5 clock hours away from the main incision on the right side. And this is another side port on the left side at about same distance away from the main incision. And now, an air bubble is injected into the antechamber. Then trypan blue 0.06% dye is sprayed over the anterior capsule of this white cataract. In white cataracts you don't get any red glow, and we should use trypan blue dye, which will increase the contrast, and we can easily do rhexis. This is a bit of adrenaline, and now the dye is washed out. You don't have to wait for 10-15 seconds, just immediately after injecting the dye, and we can wash it out and see how nicely the capsule is stained. And now this is 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose that has been used to fill up the anterior chamber, and this is capsular rhexis. There is no leakage of anything, no milky fluid, no oily fluid, nothing. So the intralenticular pressure is normal, and we can say this is non-intumescent white cataract. While doing rhexis, the anterior leaf is lifted up, and you go all around, remaining at a certain distance away from the margin of the pupil, and thus you get this kind of beautiful rhexis. If you can do rhexis like this, we don't need femtolaser. And now hydrodissection. A little bit of hydrodissection is being done because this is not intumescent cataract. So the capsulocortical adhesions are broken by hydrodissection. The nucleus is rotated. Viscoelastic substance is injected again, and now is the time to introduce the tip of the phaco handpiece. The machine being used is Oatley Cataracts 3, and I am in phaco 2 mode from the very beginning with power of 65% in this case. Flow rate is 45 ml per minute. Vacuum is 400 mm of mercury. After removing some cortical matter, make the bevel up towards the corneal endothelium. Now I push the nucleus little down, go into the substance of the nucleus, bury the tip completely, hold the nucleus very firmly, and chop it like this. See how beautifully you can chop at on go. If you can do like this, there is no need of making a trench, there is no need of pre-chopper. And now each nuclear fragment is brought at the center of the anterior chamber, and it is emulsified. Never emulsify at the periphery. Always bring the pieces right at the center and emulsify where the anterior chamber depth is maximum and where the posterior capsule is the farthest point from the tip of the phaco handpiece. And now tilt this portion of the nucleus and emulsify it. That's it. The nucleus is managed. And now we can see there is a lot of cortical matter in this case. Visco is injected. It keeps the anterior chamber formed while I use a 23 gauge Simcoe cannula. This is a very benign, very safe instrument. The control is in your hand. The only disadvantage is you need a little larger side port to introduce it into the anterior chamber. And now this is polishing of the posterior capsule. Some cells were sticking to the posterior capsule at around 5:30 o'clock, and that has been removed. And now a foldable intraocular lens is to be implanted in the capsular bag. And in such cases, we can implant the lens keeping the anterior chamber formed by fluid. So the irrigating probe keeps the anterior chamber formed, and you place the lens in the capsular bag. The irrigating probe itself dials the lens. You will not need a Sinskey hook to dial the lens. That's it. The lens is in the bag. The optic is nicely overlapped by anterior capsular rim. The side ports are hydrated so that these stab wounds become watertight. And now a final lavage of the anterior chamber is done. I use the 23 gauge Simcoe again, and I irrigate through the aspirating port towards the corneal endothelium, and you will see that a lot of visco that sticks to the corneal endothelium are dislodged and they come out through the main incision. I'm going behind the IOL and polishing the IOL, posterior surface of the IOL. And that's it. After forming the anterior chamber with BASS, balanced salt solution, the case is concluded here. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this video will help you in developing your surgical skills. Be a great surgeon and serve the mankind with great skills.